No. Hi. We got a few more minutes. Welcome to Establish Now with Shara. I hope everybody's having a great day. My face is oily. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you've been having a great day, whatever in the world you may be. If it's daytime, I hope you have having a fabulous day. If it's nighttime, I hope you're having a fabulous night. Whichever way it goes, just be fabulous in this day. Let's see here. I want to turn on the little star. This little light of mine. I want to let it shine. You know what would suck? If that would have failed. And yes. Hello. Like that mud. What's going on? What we got? A minute. A minute to launch. This ain't Houston, but this is a takeoff for real. All right, let's go. So, again, welcome to Establish Now with Shara. I am going to be answering some questions that my audience wants to know about. And I'm excited because these questions made me deep dive into the journey, which started 5 years ago, and is what I called the trajectory shift. Is when I finally decided to change the direction of my life, because I don't know if anybody can relate, but sometimes you get tired of seeing that same old mountain, like, oh, that same old wilderness, like the children of Israel. I felt like I was in there with them, with the children of Israel. I felt like I was in the wilderness, y'all. It was I can vividly see it so clear, so clear. Like, I guess this is gonna be one of those moments, because this is a pivotal moments, and pivotal moments in life, those are things that you never forget. So I remember sitting on the couch, and it was 40 days away from my 40th birthday. And I was like, man, I got to do something to change the direction of my life. And I got to do it right now. Not a minute later, not tomorrow, which I love to do. I love to put off stuff till tomorrow, and tomorrow came. Mm-mm. It was a now. This was a now time. All right. So we're going to start with question number one. I'm just going to go ahead and get in and get off, and hey, do what I do. Could you elaborate on the initial hurdles you encountered when you embarked on this transformation 40-day journey towards self-discovery? The initial hurdles, I would have to say, would be the job. I work from sun up to sundown. I work two jobs. And I don't know if you're like me, but when you come home, if you work from sun up to sundown, like, you seen the sun rays and you seen the sun go down, and after 10 o'clock, you get home, you don't want to, like, work on yourself. What? I don't think I want to work on is this rest. But I knew that it took commitment and discipline to change the direction of my life. So these hurdles that was in the way, just like hurdles that when you run track, there's a finish line. There's a line that you're trying to get to. So I'm trying to get to a line, a transformation line. So those were nothing but hurdles. I was jumping them hurdles. Yeah, I worked them 10 hours. Yeah, I worked from sun up to sundown. Yeah, all this. I still did the things that I set out to do. And that was, again, 40 days away from my 40th birthday. I knew I needed to address the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual. I knew that I needed to address me, not him, her, them, that job, it, whatever. I needed to address me. So the only hurdle that I had was just coming home and being tired and still being disciplined to doing the things that I said I would do. All right. Can you take us through your strategies, exercise, or routines, or dive into your physical, mental, spiritual, emotional dimension? I sure can. I sure can. Look, I sure can. For me, I had to keep it simple. And I did write these things down because I want to make sure that I communicate this. I believe that this also will help somebody change the trajectory of their life. I know that I'm called to be a trajectory shifter without a doubt. So hey, let's shift our lives. Okay, so I kept the 40-day journey simple. For example, the physical aspect. What I did was I started with walking 1 mile a day. And it wasn't even about just like I wasn't trying to lose weight the first 40. Like within 17 days or so, I had lost like 23 pounds. And I wasn't intentionally trying to lose weight. I was just changing the direction of my life. This is just how transformative this thing did for me. And so for the physical aspect, I would walk a mile a day. And walking a mile a day for 40 days will be 40 miles. And that comes from a person that was not intentional about being physically active at all concerning like me. Yeah, I thought about it many times. I thought about it, but did I ever come up with a plan? No. The 40-day plan is what the plan I came up with. And walking a mile a day ended up being 40 miles. And then you think about it. So the next 40, you can compile that. And then you can compile it by walking 2 miles. And that's 80 miles in 40 days. You add the other 40, that's 120 miles in what is that? 40, 80 days. So that's 120 miles for 80 and 40. Yeah, 120 miles and 120 miles in 80 days. I mean, let me tell you something. Nobody else had to applaud. It was all about me. I applauded myself. Y'all, hurdles. There was hurdles even during walking a mile a day. There would be times that it would be raining. I was out there in the rain still doing. There was times that I didn't make it to the walking track. I would walk up and down my driveway. Like I had an app that kept track of the mile, and I also had a new puppy. So I would have a puppy in my arm, and it'll be me and my baby still sleep. He's out there now. And we'll be walking up and down the road, up and down the driveway, up and down the driveway. Yeah. So I even have a transformation or a trajectory shifter dog. He wasn't even supposed to be mine. I was only supposed to potty train him. And I just could not let him go. I even learned about during this process. Let me tell you something. Even during this process, it opened my eyes to be more aware of things that I was unaware of. Like I learned about me through an animal. I learned, see, I have two different dogs. I have a dog I call her the diva. She doesn't want anybody to bother her, whatever. You can be right there in her face. She gonna ignore you. But the puppy, and I still call him a puppy, even though we're 4 years, going to 5 years into this. The puppy Zeus Lee, who's a pit bull, he's the one that needed love. And I was just sitting there. I think I was sitting there after my reading, because I also did a daily reading, and that also helped with the mental and the spiritual aspect. I read a book called The 40-Day Soul Fast, and by Cindy Tram, and she asks, what one thing you could do that would change the trajectory of your life? And I knew for me was being consistent and being disciplined. So I married the two. Yeah, they had a marriage and they became one. And my life has not been the same since then. All right, let's see. So that's the exercise routine. Uh, and also, let me make sure I talk about this. The physical process, y'all. It did something for me. It made me believe in me. It had such a greater impact. Well, I say all of it intertwined, impacted me with a great impact. However, the physical process helped me believe that no matter what hurdle came my way, I could do it. Yeah, I had worked from sun up to sundown, but I got out there and walked that mile. I could do it. Yeah, it's raining, but I got out there and worked that mile. I can do it. Yeah, I ain't go to the walking track, but I got a driveway. I can walk up and down the driveway. I can walk and complete that mile. I can do it. So it made me develop in a belief in me that I can do it no matter what hurdle came my way. And throughout this journey, there, if you want to say label them hurdles, I've had some hurdles. I've had some times where I've had to sit down and get back up. But this 40 and 40, this plan helped me get back up quicker than if I didn't have it. If I probably wouldn't have never had it. So it also helped me it also helped me to I was this person that always had to have things now, 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 now. And it caused me to always run and crash. Like oop. And once you hit that wall and you bounce back, man, from that pain from hitting that wall will make you lay down a little bit longer than expected. I like what Michael Todd said along life. Things have happened along the journey, and which has caused me to sit down. But Michael Todd said, "It's that blow you didn't see coming." But the physical aspect, there are two key things that I listen to. I listened to Michael Todd, Crazy Faith, because I knew I had to have crazy faith. I had to have crazy faith. 39, about to be 40. What are you talking about? You about to change the direction of your life. You can't teach old dogs new trick. Watch. I'm the example. I'm gonna be the one. And then I also listened to Stephen Furtick, "Don't Stop on Six," where he talks about when they talked about how they walked around the walls of Jericho, and instead of stopping on six, I went one more time. So the walking the walking area that I walked at, they have this marker that has 6 times equal mile. I would say, don't stop on six. I could hear him saying, don't stop on six. Because if you're familiar with the walls of Jericho, on the seventh day, God told them to make a loud noise. So out of faith, in my act of faith, I walked around another time. Yeah, I mean, I haven't walked out there when I saw creatures. And I ain't gonna lie, them creatures, I don't know what they were, but they had me moving fast to finish that 7, and they had me moving fast to get to my car. Like, please don't look over here. Please don't look over here. it's really, really like going down memory lane. It's just really, it's funny as I look back over it. And just going back, like the importance of not of not allowing that job to be a hurdle, because of the fact is I could go, well, I go and give, this is what I did. I would go and give my job my all, and I would come home and have nothing left. I wouldn't even have anything, partly anything left for my child. And that just was not right. That was not right. So I decided to give something to me, to start pouring into me. Because we already know, truth be told, hey, the job gonna go on with or without you. However, it's with or without you. And as long as you're on this side of as long as you're on this side of heaven, then you go on. And also changing the direction of my life meant aligning with my purpose and my gifts. And those jobs were just part of a cycle. Like I said, they was a part of a repeated cycle over and over and over again. I was tired. Okay. I remember, and this, I'm all over the place a little bit, but I remember jumping up and jumping on Facebook Live and like I just started sharing part of my journey. I started sharing what I was doing, why I was doing it, and as I talked about things about my life, they help with the mental part and they also help with the emotional part. Because if I'm talking about my life and I'm being truthful, that means emotions gonna come, right? And I'm going to push emotions down and down and down and down and down. Like I don't stay mad a long time. But now that I think about it, I just really cover it up. I really just push it down. And with anything that is filled up, there's going to be an explosion. Even in with the human body, it shows up in our body. When we don't let these things out, it shows up physically in our body. Headaches, oh, I stayed with them. Insomnia, I stayed with that. So being able to share my journey online, like in front of like strangers, in front of people that thought they knew me or think they knew me. Hey, this is the 40-day soul fast, and I am sharing my journey, sharing my life story. Because one thing people can tell, people can they can say they can tell your story from, sometimes it may be from their view, and sometimes it could be overheard or gossip about, but ain't nothing like it coming from the person's mouth. And in order to break that cycle, I knew the jobs were part of that cycle, like I said. So being committed to this, to the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual aspect of my life was part of me breaking the cycle of me. It was about me facing me. It was about, what was it about me that would kept stopping me from me, me being undisciplined, me being uh not consistent. It was me. So I had to stay committed. I had to stay committed, man. I stayed committed. And I've learned that once you put a plan into place and you keep it simple, I'm talking about very, very simple. You see how I just broke it down to just a mile? I kept it simple. I ain't try to like go, because I knew what that got me. So if I knew what my old way of thinking got me, I had to have a new way of thinking. So a new way of thinking was only produced through working on the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical aspect of my life. Yeah, just reading it, I was so proud. Somebody once told me that you should not be proud of yourself, but man, baby, if you overcame the things I've overcame, and especially overcame the things I've overcome the past 5 years, you will be proud of yourself too. So yeah, I am proud of myself. I was proud to go from having no intentional physical intentions on my part to completing 40 miles in 40 days. And then the next one, see, first you complete 40 days, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And then the next 40, what I did was like for the physical aspect, I ate only fruits. And the mental, I still got on Facebook Live. I also, the spiritual, I read a book. I think it was by, I think it was the War Room, or oh my goodness, it was from the War Room. I don't know, but I completed so many books that I had completed. I have a library, so this journey helped me complete books, and these books were transformative books. They wasn't just about reading about Jack and Jill went up the hill. It was diving deeper into my spiritual life. I began to pray more. God began to unlock some things in me. He began to unlock my past. He unlocked how he had to take me back to when I was a child. He had to take me back to the root of why I was like I am today. He had to take me back to remember the gifts that he placed in me. I thought these were just things I might have liked. I was the chick that always had the disposable camera at school. Like, hey, I jump out, click, click. You better pose for the camera. Even to this day, I have rolls of film that I have not developed since the 90s, since 2000. Y'all, man, I can't wait because to get them developed. I might have to close my eye like this to see what's on them. Hold on. All right. So it taught me that small steps can produce great results, really great results. Because truth be told, when we go somewhere, we're taking small steps. We're not taking huge leaps and bounds. We do take leaps and bounds in like athletic event, but this was not an athletic event. This was a life event, life daily living. So it was about the steps. When I talked about the spiritual aspect, which was the book that I read, the 40-day soul fast, and it was already broken down into a daily reading, so I didn't have to break it down like I would have to do the next books. And what I did with the next books that I read, I would break them down to how many pages that I needed to read to complete 40 days. So it may be 8 or it may be 10, but I just multiplied the number of pages or divided the number of pages by 40. And we know that 40 is like 40 has such a significant number. And I truly believe God gave that to me because I couldn't have came up with it if I wanted to. Like who I am today, I couldn't have been this person. I wouldn't even know how to ask God how do I get to become this person? Because I didn't even know how to word who the transformative process that God has taken me through in this. Like it's simply amazing. And the mental aspect was getting on Facebook Live for 40 days. I talked about that. The emotional aspect, let me talk about this one. That was again, because I didn't, I didn't deal with emotions. I pushed them down. That was really the hardest because it meant that as I shared part of my life journey on Facebook Live, it meant not only bringing up my life journey, but also it meant facing those emotions, feeling those emotions, showing those emotions. Because part of me showing up on Facebook Live, I wanted somebody to be real. I got tired of seeing all the fakeness. So I wanted somebody to be real, and I made the decision that I would show up and I would be real, and I would be real about this process. And I'm going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and all that, the in between. And now it helps. And now that process has helped me because it eliminated, it made room. What we don't realize is in life, as we just go about living life, we are being dumped on. We are being dumped on intentionally. Yeah, intentionally. And if you want to say unintentionally, unintentionally, because we are partakers of this world. As we pass by, we might pass by something on TV, it goes in our ears. We may see something on social media, it goes in our eyes. We may overhear a conversation, right? We may even be part of a conversation. All of these things are just covering up the true me. But as I went on my treasure hunt of the 40-day trajectory change, I began to when you go on a treasure hunt, you have your little tools. I began to uncover some things, and I began to see some light. It might have been a little light, but I began to see some light in my life. I began to see some hope in my life, and it was nobody but God. So, dealing with the emotional aspect of it, today I'm more quicker to process these emotions and deal with them now and face them now than to put them away in a vault because pressure bust pipes and those emotions in you do burst. They may come out in a way where you're at your job and it's not really about that person that you're upset with. It's really something that about you may be upset with about yourself. Or it could be you're just in a bad mood and you don't know why you're in a bad mood. Well, I ain't dealt with all these emotions that I got going on within me, and they starting to spill over into my life. However, I've learned about processing emotions. These are things that wasn't talked about in my home. So that's why I say this was God. This was a divine giving. Like God walked me out of me. God walked me out of me. If you can imagine that, like an out of body experience, but I'm really in body. I said goodbye to the old me and hello to the new me. And that truthfully, still, it's a journey. I want y'all to know it's a journey. These things are still unfolding as you begin to discover who you are and change your direction of your life. It does not happen in just 1 year. How at when I finally turned 40, how I thought I would have felt at 21, or at 18. The world has made us believe that this magical number 21 will make you feel like a woman, or 18 will make you feel like you're grown. No, that didn't happen for me. Something took place when I hit 40. I felt more like a woman than I ever did. I was like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. The feelings, these emotions, the person. This is who I've been looking for. This is what I've been looking for. Mm, mm, mm. So the physical aspect just taught me about really about pacing the journey of this, not being in a rush. Like, yeah, I had these books, and we want to hurry up and complete books, but no, it wasn't about that. It was about pacing myself, and not just about pacing myself with these books, but also taking in, learning, reading them, not just scanning over them, but really reading them, because my life was on the line. The direction of my life was on the line. I could not go around that mountain no more. Not when I could do something about it. No. No, no, no. So at one point in your journey did you start a sense of shift and start unlocking your hidden potential? I already talked about that, but again, it happened around my 40th birthday. I want to read this. I want to read this. It happened around my 40th birthday. So 40 days in, I knew there was a shift in me. I remember saying how I thought I would have felt when I turned 21 or in my 20s or in my 30s. I am now feeling at 40. I felt more like a woman than I ever felt before. I felt like an awakening of a true me. God began to give me downloads of remembrance that tied into my youth, what I talked about earlier, and that and the dreams I had began to awaken again, and the gift that God had placed in me begin to finally be seen. Those treasures, those hidden treasures. As a youth, from a youth perspective, I would have said again, I'm just good at these things. But now I have a different perspective, a different outlook. Those are God given gifts. Those were things that led me to here, because God foresaw this time. And I'm just grateful that I'm here, I'm alive, and that I'm in purpose. All right. Could you discuss how pledging to follow a new course and purpose affected your daily routines and interpersonal relationship? This one is good. It's a good question. All right. Being committed to the following the 40-day journey helped me tremendously. It affected my daily routine, but not only was I going to a job, doing something for them. The 40-day journey set me on a routine of I was doing something for me, and that was going to help me in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of my life. I found out that my interpersonal relationship, I was becoming a new woman. So as I become a new woman, things got to change. I ain't thinking the same. A new, or better yet, I'd say a new person, or better yet, I was becoming more of an authentic version of myself. Things that I used to accept no longer would I accept. Mm. And some of those things were very, it was hard. It was very hurtful to let some people go. But I talk about this. We just wasn't aligned at that time or at this time. We may meet 5 years down the line and be so back in aligned. So our relationship didn't end like bad relationship, like cussing you out and none of that. No. So I was already aligned to some pretty good people. It was just we was aligned. I think we all were on different travels in our lives. So, and okay, the things that I used to accept now, and then I was becoming a more authentic version of myself. I began to have a new set of vision, like a 2020 vision, if you want to say it like that. Look, I'm being nosy over here. What is that, girl? You preaching? Okay. You know it, yeah. And that's funny. I was like, I wonder if God called me to preach. I ain't never received the calling, but I don't know. I don't know. I asked myself that question the other night. God, I ain't called to preach. I have what is called the mantle of exhortation, and that means I am an encourager. Even on my bad days, even on my days when I didn't feel like getting on Facebook Live encouraging people, I still found myself encouraging people. Like I said, this has been a 5 year journey, and you can only imagine what has happened within those 5 years. In 2019, when I started the 40 and 40, God knew what was around the corner, and I didn't. However, I'm a crybaby. I am now an open crybaby. So dealing with the emotional aspect has now opened the crybaby. I didn't know what was around the corner, but I'm like, God, you set me up. You set me up. I hope that I've shared something to help somebody. And if you have any questions or maybe want to talk offline, I would love to talk. Um, this was only supposed to be 30 minutes, but it's longer because this stuff that I wrote down, like I said, I went deep and I want to make sure I cover it. All right. How integral was the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning in your journey? And can you provide us with some examples of significant realization you discovered during the process? It was such an importance about learning because I was learning about me. I wasn't learning about what somebody had taught me. I was learning about me, that person that looked in the mirror at themselves every day and didn't recognize himself. I was learning about that person that used to dream big. I'm talking about outrageously big. I was learning about that person. I was looking for that person to rise up under all this stuff that the world had dumped on me. I knew she was in there. I just didn't know how to unlock her. But the 40-day journey sent me on that path. And I am continually on that path. The importance of unlearning all the things that stood in the way of me because it was me. It wasn't the job, like I said, it wasn't the job, the people, the places, the things, or whatever the case. It was me, as they say, me versus me. It was what was it about me? that stopped me from achieving my goals, going for those dreams? How did I go from this just daring person to this person that just played the back? I'm not gonna lie, when I had left my job at one time and to pursue my dream. However, I had so much fear. Fear had its hands on me, and I returned back to work. I returned back to them two jobs, and I'm talking about I basically felt like, man, I don't know how to describe it, man. I drug my feet every day there. I hated it. That's the truth of the matter. I hated it. I hated it. And I began to experience high anxiety. Yeah, I remember when we first opened and this girl came to me and I was making coffee and she said, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm making coffee." But I knew what she meant. She said, "No, what are you doing working here? Because I can see greatness in you." And all I did was drop my head because she was telling the truth. So 5 years in, I'm more Sha. I tell people to call me Sha because that's what my family calls me, and it means to be free. My name is the Shara, and it means actually it has a very unique meaning. It means to harvest, it means rebirth, and it means free. If God didn't put something divinely in me, I don't know what He did. So I'm just grateful that I had a chance to share with y'all how I started transforming my life. And again, I hope that this helps somebody because it doesn't matter what age you are. You can change the direction of your life if you want it bad enough, if you're tired of the same old things. And if you just want to discover who you are before you transition from this side of heaven, because I know I would rather find out the true me than transition being somebody that I'm not. So always with love, shower. Y'all have a good night. 45 minutes. Hey.